Dinosaurs were once the largest creatures on Earth, but now it could be any animal. And while you might expect that from certain species, others will come as a total surprise. Today, we're gonna show you the biggest animals ever caught on camera, and you're definitely gonna emerge from this experience with a couple of new phobias. So subscribe to the channel and click the bell while you still can. Here's how the largest crocodile in captivity gets his breakfast. He's 5.48 meters long, not counting the portion missing from his tail. And this is Brutus. He's also 5.5 meters long, weighs 2 tons, and likes to eat sharks. But the largest croc ever is the legendary Lo Long, who measured 6 meters in length. It took 100 people to catch him. Remember when we warned you that if you didn't subscribe, you'd find one of these in your bed? This centipede grows up to 42 centimeters in length and can have as many as 382 legs. Trust me, they can run very fast. This giant lion makes a 146.5 centimeter Toyota Corolla look tiny. Just imagine the driver's reaction when a 300 kilogram lion walks by. Meanwhile, the largest one weighed 375 kilograms and was 3 meters long. No wonder it eats 2.5 tons of meat per year. The average kangaroo weighs about 60 kilograms. That is, if he's not working out in the gym 24/7 like this beast. And this one is apparently dabbling in steroids. Not cool, bro. Give me back my protein powder. The beast before you is an Ankole Watusi bull, which can weigh up to 730 kilograms. That's 9 times the weight of the average man. It's so important for them to show their strength that their horns grow insanely large. Ankole horns can grow up to 1.8 meters, about as long as a full-sized bed, and each weighs as much as a supermodel. The record holder was a bull named Pancho Villa, whose massive horns spanned 3 meters across, or 1.5 Michael Jordans. What happens when a Watusi bull falls in love with a unicorn? Something like this. Each of its horns is about 1 meter long. That's 3 guitars on its head, and I wouldn't want to play with any of them. And this is why Batman wears underwear over his suit. All joking aside, golden-crowned flying foxes really exist and have wingspans of 170 centimeters. That's as tall as Angelina Jolie. They only eat fruit, but that doesn't make it any less terrifying. Think swans are the cutest creatures in the world? You couldn't be more wrong. First of all, you've never seen me, but also they grow up to 180 centimeters tall and personally take bread from a human that wasn't even feeding it to them. I would have reacted the same way if I were in that dog's position. This turtle may seem huge because of the camera angle, but the leatherback turtle really is the world's largest. It holds the record at 2.6 meters and 916 kilograms. Meanwhile, this 200-year-old Aldabra tortoise has grown a 120 centimeter long shell. So now, imagine how old this sea turtle must be if its head is half the length of a diver. Typical roosters don't grow any taller than a coffee table, about 60 centimeters. But this giant is 1 meter tall. Now we know why this guy from Top Gun took the call sign Rooster. Who needs a dog when you can get a hefty Goliath bird eater the size of a large man's hand? All you'll have to do is feed it birds. But if you need something bigger, head straight to Australia, where you'll find a 30 centimeter huntsman spider. Thor approves. Or you could always just find a pet on some girl's back. Just please don't poke it with a Sharpie like this guy. We get it, that tarantula is enormous. When this guy got a puppy, he couldn't have imagined that it would grow into a 2-meter giant, like this man, whose dog is already 1.5 times his size. This big boy's name is Don Bison, and his record weight is 103 kilograms. I'm not so sure that the owner is the one walking him, and at this point, I refuse to believe this isn't actually a polar bear. Opal frontera, whose height is 167 centimeters, could easily pass right under this moose. That's because these animals stand 3 meters tall at the withers and weigh up to 800 kilograms. Plus, it has the largest antlers of any mammal and the record at a span of 188 centimeters. This huge Tasmanian crab weighs 6.8 kilograms and has a shell with a diameter of 38 centimeters. That's 100 times bigger than a standard UK shore crab, or enough to make 160 crab cakes, if you dare. If you thought rats were only scary because of their numbers, you were wrong. The real problem starts when they get bigger than cats, reaching lengths of 40 centimeters, not including the tails. Looking at this huge squid, now I know how they came up with Cthulhu. Nah, I'm just joking, he's real. One of these big guys weighs 163 kilograms, but this one is half a ton and 11.8 meters long, 1.5 times the height of a giraffe. It's amazing that it wasn't Hercules who caught this half-ton, 2-meter-long wild boar, but they can get even bigger than that. Check out these giants. That's right, they are 3 times bigger than a human, and sometimes they can be found in the most unexpected places. This is what the biggest catfish ever caught looks like. It took fishermen 40 minutes to reel in this 2.6-meter guy and measure his record-breaking 128 kilograms. Imagine an anaconda as wide as a MacBook swimming under your boat. That would have just ended the cruise immediately, but this couple decided to take a closer look. Jesus, the anacondas don't usually grow more than 5 meters long and don't typically sunbathe, but there are exceptions to every rule. These snakes spend most of their lives underwater, venturing out on land only to hunt, although they could just eat divers. Anacondas are so huge that a giant crane is needed to lift them, and the biggest anaconda ever recorded in Brazil measured 6 meters long and weighed over 250 kilograms. And if you try to drag... But this giant is rushing in to give his amigo a hug. The wingspan of a condor can reach 320 centimeters with a body length of 135 centimeters. That makes it the largest bird in the West. This fisherman's reaction when he realizes he's caught a 3-meter monster fish. But that's nothing compared to a 100-year-old white sturgeon at 352 centimeters that only took 25 minutes to catch. However, the biggest beluga sturgeon ever was caught in 1922 at a record 7 meters long and weighing 1,490 kilograms. That's twice as heavy as a cow. How big does a wolf need to be to make a 60-centimeter tall dog look like a puppy? Well, let's find out as we take a look at this guy's huge Canadian wolf. An adult specimen of this species can reach up to 160 centimeters long and weigh 90 kilograms. The largest one ever caught was a northwestern wolf trapped in Alaska in 1939 that measured 175 centimeters long. Next to this fish, a 1.94-meter diver looks positively shrimpy. It's 3 meters wide and 4.3 meters long, but the largest mola mola weighed as much as 1,600 kilograms and was caught back in 1910. The last thing you would expect to run into on the road is a 3-meter Amur tiger weighing 300 kilograms. The only thing bigger is a Siberian tiger, which in terms of size is the closest to a saber-tooth. But the largest cat on record was named Jaipur, who measured 3.32 meters and 423 kilograms. A polar bear went down in history as the largest of its kind at a height of over 3 meters and a weight of a whole ton. That's like 3 Harley-Davidson bikes. But brown bears can also be so huge that they need special equipment. For example, this giant weighed 680 kilograms and was 2.5 meters tall, and it clearly didn't lose a fight with DiCaprio. Random fact number 155. Carps grow throughout their lives, so for this 68-kilo fish to get this big, they would have taken several decades. This river giant weighs 75 kilograms, but it's far from the largest carp in history, which weighed 105 kilograms. That's a whole Aquaman. A liger is a hybrid between a lioness and a tiger, inheriting each's unique size. For example, Hercules weighs an incredible 408 kilograms and he's nearly 365 centimeters long. That's taller than a double-decker tour bus. Now meet Nook, who weighed a whopping 550 kilograms at a length of 396 centimeters. That's like 2 sedans. Believe it or not, the world's largest cow weighs over 2 tons, like a rhinoceros. This 7-year-old male Holstein Friesian stands at more than 6 feet tall, and it's best not to mention burgers around him. This is an Attacus atlas, the biggest butterfly in the world, with a wingspan of 30 centimeters. That's a foot-long Subway sandwich, folks. It's so huge that you can't even see the guy's face behind it. These memes don't seem so funny anymore. Imagine what it's like to swim next to a giant 5-meter manta ray weighing 3 tons. But even that's not nearly as chilling as swimming between two of them with a combined length of 14 meters. Look at how this elephant seal plays with a car. Reason enough to avoid it at all costs? After all, they weigh 2 tons, like a Dodge Charger. And these hooligans stole somebody's yacht from the pier and nearly sunk it with their weight. A giant snail the size of this guy's face looks super big, but the record land snail weighed 900 grams and was 39.3 centimeters long. Because of their big size, these Achatenas are banned in the USA. They are a threat to all vegetation in their way. This is an enormous 50-year-old lobster with claws bigger than a man's hand. And that's not the limit, because lobsters can grow endlessly. This guy was lucky to have caught a 100-year-old one as tall as he was. And this 10-kilogram lobster was saved from the frying pan by a kind woman. For $200, he gets to go back to the ocean to keep growing. Big Jake is officially the tallest horse in the world. He's 210 centimeters tall and weighs as much as a Jeep, 2.6 tons. This Belgian is a little shorter at just 195 centimeters, but he eats $315 worth of food per day. That's enough to buy 2 electric cars a year. But why buy an electric car when you have Toby the Percheron? He is just as tall and can pull logs weighing over 2 tons. It took over 40 minutes to subdue this Russian blue marlin weighing 554 kilograms, and it also took all the men in the village to drag it to the scale. But this 700-kilogram marlin caught in Hawaii was 5 meters long and nearly broke the world record set in 1953 by Alfred Glassell Jr. when he caught a marlin weighing 707 kilograms. A fish the size of a giraffe. Wow. Here's how a 180-kilogram gorilla drifts. Now, you've definitely seen everything. Or have you? A mountain gorilla named Senkwekwe from the Virunga National Park in the Congo weighed 250 kilograms and was just under 2 meters tall. And that's enough for today. I already feel like the smallest thing in the world. What's the biggest animal you've ever seen in your life? Share it in the comments, and we'll see you when we put out the next video. Oh yeah, and don't forget to like this one. You did like it, didn't you? I do good?